Welcome back to our channel, Blended Culture Creations. This morning I'm feeling a little festive. We've got the house pretty much decorated, a few last minute touches to put up, but the tree's up, so I'm feeling pretty festive. This morning I thought I'd show you one of my favorite breakfasts for Christmas morning. So let's head on over to the kitchen and we'll get started. So I've laid out on the counter everything that we're going to need for this morning and then some. We'll start with the actual pancake recipe ingredients. So here you can see we have a couple of eggs. I'm going to double the recipe. Some flour, stevia, milk, salt, baking powder, pure vanilla, and some butter. So of course, in place of butter, you can use lots of options, margarine, coconut oil, and anything else that you would prefer to use to replace that butter, but here we like to use butter. Here for some of the toppings, we of course have the whipping cream and confectioner's sugar to make whipped cream. We're going to have bananas, blueberries, strawberries, and my favorite, chocolate chips. So I'm just going to put the camera down and get it set up, and we'll get started with the pancakes. Great being able to get fresh strawberries year-round. However, I will say that being from Nova Scotia, there's nothing quite like a Nova Scotia strawberry. I have a handful of blueberries. Wash those off. Alright, great. So those are all washed off. I'm going to let the water strain out and we'll move on to our pancakes. All right, we're going to start this morning by using our dry ingredients. We're going to sift our dry ingredients through the colander. So this recipe I know off by heart. I've made it, I can't even count how many times. This is a staple weekend breakfast in our house. So I'm gonna start by measuring out our flour. When I double the recipe, we're actually going to be using about 3 cups of flour. One and a half, 2, 2.5, and 3. Next, I'm going to add in our baking powder. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of baking powder when I double the recipe. And we're going to need a little bit of salt, so this one I'm just going to eyeball. Again, I just like to grate it in my hand. Add it to the bowl. And finally the sugar. So today, instead of using sugar, refined sugar, I'm going to use stevia sugar. You really don't notice the difference of it when you put it in this recipe. And because again, I've doubled the batch, we're looking at using 2 tablespoons of this raw stevia. Okay, so those are the dry ingredients. We're just going to sift these through the sifter. So let's give you a quick little see. And while I'm doing that, just going to mix it through. Okay, so our mix is all nice and lightly sifted. It's going to put this to the side and pull out a different mixing bowl. Going to put the wet ingredients in that mixing bowl. So we're going to start by measuring out our milk. Again, most people in our family are lactose, so we like to use the natural milk as it's lactose free. So the measurement of milk that we're looking for a single recipe, it's usually 1 1/4 cups. So of course, if we're doubling that, it's about 2 1/2 cups. So we'll measure out 2 1/2 cups. It's 2, 2 1/2. Next, we're going to add our pure vanilla. Again, we're doubling the recipe, so this is going to be 2 teaspoons of the pure vanilla. And lastly, we have our eggs. So we're going to use 2 eggs. Just going to crack them on the side of the bowl. Seen people do all kinds of tricks with cracking open their eggs, but I haven't quite mastered being able to just crack it in my hand yet. So we're just going to use the side of the bowl. Again. Right, and again, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. Just handled raw egg, and I don't want to touch anything else in my kitchen until my hands are washed. We're now going to take this wet mixture and whisk it up. Right, this is nice and whisked up now, a little bit frothy. Now we are left with our wet and dry ingredients that we now have to combine together. So for our mixture of flour, I like to try to create a little bit of a well in the center to add the egg mixture to. Looks like we've worked out the lumps in the mixture. So now I'm going to add the butter. You don't want to add the butter when the mixture is too cold, like directly to the milk, because it's going to cause it to harden up again on you. So to keep it liquidy, add it after you've mixed these ingredients together. Now add 4 tablespoons of butter to my mix. All right, we've moved over to the stove. Heat on to a medium-low. Let that pan warm up a little bit. Butter is starting to sizzle a little bit, so now we know that our pan is warm. Going to add the pancake mixture into the pan. Depending on how big your family likes the pancakes, obviously you can make these all different sizes. There's even cute little pans that you can buy to do specific shapes or characters for your pancakes. We're going to keep ours simple. We're going to make them a little bit bigger, so that way we use up this mixture a little bit quicker. So these pancakes are going to be approximately half a cup in size. And like I said, I'm going to start with the plain pancakes. We've got our first 3 pancakes in our pan. So we're just going to let those sit for a moment and work their magic. And while they're working their magic, I'm actually going to get some turkey bacon on the stove. So today we're actually going to be using some of this chicken bacon. Also, just as a tip as well, since these pancakes won't all be ready at the same time, what I like to do is just preheat my oven to about 175. And then when the pancakes, the first batch is almost finished, I like to turn down that oven or turn it completely off. And then that way it kind of just acts as a little warming area to keep the pancakes warm and from going soft on us. So you can see some bubbles are starting to form at the top of the pancakes, but still need to give them just a few more moments. Pancakes are getting lots of little holes in them now, which means they're going to be nice and light and fluffy. So it's about time for us to give them a turn so they don't burn. Going to do a little check. So perfect. These are ready. I'm going to pop these in the oven. We'll get our next set on the stove. Okay, so for this one, as I said, we're going to do some blueberries. So we've added the blueberries already to another small bowl. And we're now going to add this pancake mixture to the pan. Lots of popping going on with these pancakes right now. The blueberries, you can hear them popping. And over here, we've got some turkey bacon popping. So you can see again that these are browning up quite nicely on the other side. Just gonna open the oven. Put the blueberry pancakes in. And for the final pancakes that we said we were going to make this morning. So this last little bit of mixture, we've added some chocolate chips to it. Again, these are my favorite. And repeat the process. So we're going to start by cutting our bananas. It's actually interesting because there's a whole nother recipe that you can use for pancakes that doesn't involve using sugar or flour or any of the other ingredients that we've used this morning. So this other recipe consists of actually taking one banana, mashing that banana up, adding 2 eggs to it, and just a little bit of vanilla. Mix that all together and put it into your heated pan. The other option that you can also do as well is to add a little bit of cinnamon just to give those banana pancakes a little bit more flavor. And then we'll save that other dish for our blueberries. Just go back over to the stove. We're gonna check on our chocolate chip pancakes. Looks like they're coming along nicely. Should be ready to flip. And while these last few pancakes finish up, we'll do our whipping cream. Okay, so the final step this morning for the pancakes is our from scratch whipped cream. So we're going to start with 1 cup of whipping cream, using a 1/2 cup measure, so it's going to be 2. One teaspoon of our pure vanilla. And 1 tablespoon of confectioner sugar, otherwise known as icing sugar. So we're going to get out our whisk. So use the electric one for this one, and we are going to whisk away. Okay, so I've been mixing for probably about 2 minutes now. So it's come together just on a nice little whipped cream. So I am going to put this in the fridge just while we finish up setting up here for breakfast. Now Sunday morning breakfast is complete without our Sunday morning mimosa. Today's choice is champagne. I always get nervous for this part. Try not to break a light bulb or dent the ceiling. Add a little bit of orange juice. Of course, you can put as little or as much of this in there as you want. I guess it depends on what kind of sundae you're having. Got our whipping cream and our turkey bacon. Real pure Ontario maple syrup, amber with a rich taste. It's my favorite. Our blueberries, strawberries, bananas, and of course our pancakes. So we've got chocolate chip, blueberry, and plain. What's your favorite pancake? What's your favorite topping? Hope everybody has a blessed Sunday.